Sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein's now unsealed. It's from an accuser's 2015 lawsuit against Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. There are mentions of former presidents Clinton and Trump.
High-profile names mentioned in those court documents include Prince Andrew, Michael Jackson, Stephen Hawking, David Copperfield, and Naomi Campbell. The inclusion of a name on this list does not mean that that particular person has been accused of any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein.
Fox's Kevin Cork. Father and son are arrested in connection with the murders of a pregnant 18-year-old and her boyfriend in San Antonio, Texas.
It appears that it was a drug deal, so there was like a drug connection to the suspect and the two victims.
Police Sergeant Washington Moscaso says 19-year-old Christopher Preciado is accused of committing the murders. His father's accused of helping to move the bodies. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real talk starts now.
And a good Thursday morning it is. Am I right? I assume I'm still right. Good.
You're right. Right on it.
This Monday being off is really confusing to me. The trash day is
It messes
moved.
me up. Yeah.
Everything is moved.
Yeah.
So I get confused real easy. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
And wow, what a time out there.
It was a night last night, wasn't it, with all this breaking news?
Yeah, we've
Local
got
and federal.
we're gonna be checking in here with the sheriff here shortly. He's going to said he would be calling us to
Wonderful.
tell us what's going on. Had a double two people killed. I'm not going to call it murders yet until I get more word, and another injured about 5 o'clock, a little after 5 o'clock yesterday here in Onslow County. So we'll have more details on that soon. I'm not going to repeat what a couple of the TV stations have got. I don't know. So I asked the sheriff last night if he would just give us a ring-a-ding, and we'll get the full facts, the latest
Which is the best,
that's
yes.
available. Yes, from straight from the horse's mouth, shall
That's
we
right.
say?
I
What
appreciate
else is
him
going
doing
on?
that.
Yeah, I do too. Appreciate that. What's going on in your world? Anything? Foggy?
It was
Foggy.
foggy. Only
no,
in your
only
hood.
in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
My neighborhood was fine.
You're like under a cloud of fog.
Well, we are. We keep it that way.
it was
we
like
got
the mist.
we got a machine out here that produces fog, so that when people driving through the area, they can't see well.
Well, I was worried about creatures coming out of the fog, just like in that movie. So
Vampires?
You come
No,
a
just
tenth
hit-
of a mile down the street. I go
Yeah.
all the way through the neighborhood.
yeah,
to come
I turned on. I'm like, what is happening
I
here?
know, it
Yeah,
was foggy.
it was
Very
wild.
foggy.
It's not that bad, but it'll
Hey,
be
I'll
okay.
take
need to
that
walk
over
out there.
tomorrow morning.
What's tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning,
Freezing.
Kelly's going to tell us, but it's going to be freezing
Yes.
right down in the 20s.
It's gonna be cold.
Yeah, I got
Got to get my
I
windshield de-icer out.
I got just enough firewood right now to get through tonight, and I'm going to set fire to it too.
I'll set fire.
I'm going to set some fire to it.
Set fire. I'm going to go chop some tree limbs down my back over my fence.
Big ones.
It's enough to get you started.
Yeah, I got enough stuff to start the fire, and I got enough stuff to burn tonight. But after
Weren't you
that,
supposed to let firewood sit before you use it? Dry out?
why?
Okay. Hey.
Yeah, it normally if you're using split wood or anything like that, you let it set up for a while. Seasoned, they call it. Get all
I never really understood. I mean, because if you're in the woods and needed warmth, set a tree on fire.
but in a fireplace, it don't burn so well.
Yeah.
Confined spaces.
understand.
They burn fine in the wild. Look at all the forest fires we have had.
True.
They don't wait for that things to cure out, do they?
No, they don't.
So yeah. Anyway, we'll get some latest information going here, and from what's going on here in Onslow, and that's the only thing that I know of that I picked up on last night.
Now, he
Anything
was
that-
on our show last week, right?
the sheriff.
And somebody said the Q word.
I know, and I apologized to him profusely last night.
Yes, you said the Q word.
Mhm.
How quiet it is.
Oh.
Well, it's not quiet any longer, so it doesn't matter anymore, right?
And this is here. It's at the beginning of the year.
Same thing for the DA when he was on last week. We
Yeah,
mentioned
well,
the Q word.
I bet he got called out
and
too.
he was out there, I'm sure.
So,
Wow.
well, the I guess the shoe has dropped, but it didn't make any noise. It was more like a slipper.
It's like we all knew what was going to be the names already.
Yeah, the Jeffrey
No
Epstein
surprises.
mess. The papers that were served, 2015, when the suit was filed.
Hmm.
And by a woman who was, as she said, under 18, I think she was 17 at the time, was trafficked by Epstein and his madam,
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine Maxwell. And she filed a suit, and it's been settled already. But the documents were all sealed,
Yeah.
except those that were released that had all the names of all the players were redacted.
Well, when they were sealed, did they say we're sealing this for X amount of time?
No, but
Then how did they end up getting released yesterday?
well,
What happened?
Some people have been petitioning for them to be
Oh,
released,
okay.
and they've been released.
Mhm.
The names are revealed. They were actually said in earlier December, 2 or 3 weeks ago. The judge said, "I'm going to give anybody whose name is in here, y'all should know it by now," words to that effect,
Yeah.
giving you 2 weeks to petition the court to have your names redacted. He
Right.
said, "I am not going to reveal the names of minors who are protected, who were minors at the time."
Correct.
And there's one individual who a reporter revealed and made claims about that wasn't true. So I'm not going to
Sure.
reveal his name.
Sure.
He's going to remain quiet, even though everybody knows it.
Mhm.
But the names of everybody else, it's going to be released. Unless you can convince me it should not be released. So
What if anybody tried to convince? No
Nope.
one said anything.
Not according to him, not one
Would they
person.
forget? Did they just not believe
They
it?
didn't care anymore. They knew that
Yeah.
there was nothing in there that was incriminating,
It's all
except that
hearsay.
they were associated with Epstein
Mhm.
or Ghislaine
Right.
in some form or another. They were friends. They were confidants. They were some of them worked for him.
Yeah.
Right.
Bill Clinton was the big name, and Prince Andrew,
Mhm.
the other big name. And the most damning part of this was that good old Andrew has been released
Yeah.
Right.
with his arms around the
Girl.
bare, a 17-year-old girl
Right.
Yeah.
who was the complainant, I think, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, she was the complainant. She's the one who filed the suit. And she had a bare midriff, and
Mhm.
Andrew has got his arms around her, and,
Mhm.
very affectionately.
He's
Back in
always been
2001.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Could have been his cousin.
Well, it was the female.
Yeah.
Well, more than
Complainant.
one girl accused him of
Oh,
yeah.
wrongdoing.
Yeah. So I don't know what else, but not all of them have come forward.
No.
Are they going to? Probably not.
Who knows?
Mm.
So I don't
We'll
know how
just-
much the woman got who filed the suit, but
Mhm.
anyway, so I'm sure she got payoffs from. I know she got payoffs because that's been
Mhm.
reported from Andrew. Don't know if anybody who else paid
That's
her
right,
off.
because that was settled
Yeah.
out of court.
All of
Right,
that was
right.
settled.
Yeah. We'll just wait till the next Lifetime movie of the week. And we'll probably learn more from that.
Yeah.
Not that it's all true, but they'll have a movie out soon. They'll jump right on it.
Yeah, but what do you believe anyway? Of all the names that were mentioned, and I've read through them this morning, and I'm like, hey, who cares?
Like they brought up Michael Jackson, but yet there was witnesses that said he didn't do anything. He was just there on occasion.
Mhm.
Trump, they brought up Trump, or
Uh-huh.
some wanted to make accusations, but there was counters to every single one of them. And they said that when Trump found out that Trump got mad at Epstein because he had come to a thing that Trump had at Mar-a-Lago, and that when he hit on a young girl, Trump got mad and kicked him out and then disassociated himself with that. So
What was the young girl doing there?
and she could have been a family member or something, there was something. She was a member of somebody's family or something,
Yeah.
but he hit on her. Alan Dershowitz, his attorney, was a personal friend, but then there was accusations about him that came out. He got mad
Mhm.
and he quit his personal relationship with Epstein, but he remained his friend professionally, his lawyer. But and he was going off last night on Fox News. I'll tell you what, he's like, I didn't do anything, and I was like, okay, but everything so far from what I've read, you've read, we've all read, it's just all hearsay.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing. Of course, they redacted a whole bunch of this what was it? 493 pages, I think.
Something
it was.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, anyway, I don't know who to believe.
It's just all,
The biggest thing that came out said Bill Clinton. Everybody knows Bill Clinton likes young women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was major headlines, right?
Right.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, we already knew that.
Is
Yeah,
there
it's
anyone?
just like I asked you earlier. Is there anybody out there watching? Raise your hand if you think Bill Clinton is not guilty or wasn't involved. Do you see
In
anybody
what?
raising their hands?
No.
I don't either.
I mean, his issue, situation with Monica Lewinsky
Yeah.
shows. So them saying, yeah, he liked young girls, that's nothing new. We've all known that.
Yeah.
So say something we don't know.
Oh, I was wrong. It's 943 pages.
Well, I know there's a bunch.
Because when I saw that yesterday, I
A
made
lot.
a note of it. 943.
Yeah. Just say it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have time to read that much.
Mm.
Yeah.
It'd take me forever. My God, how long is the longest book you've read? Typically get a couple of 100 pages.
Oh,
And I've done a couple of thousand.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have too.
In a one book?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I used to read every day.
What was it?
I can't remember. I just remember
War
it
and
was
Peace?
thick. No, but I have read that actually.
Yeah. Read that too. Back in my day in
Yeah.
junior high, I was in reading book club, and I could read a book a day. If
Oh,
it was
I
a
used to.
small book, I loved
I used to
reading.
go check
I
out
still
one
like to read.
in elementary school. I used to check out one every day and read it.
It's easier now. Let Alexa read it for me. I just sit there and do something else and listen to her talk.
It's
I've got
not
to
the
change-
same.
I've got high or something for a day.
Alex.
Alex, yeah. Let
Alexa.
him read to me. No,
Alexa,
no.
call 910-333-0139. Would you like to be named Alex?
You're gonna make some people. I think it was
They'll
one
get
of our
over it.
listeners the last time was like, "Thanks, Rayford."
You're welcome. Anytime. Got you going anyway.
Yeah.
One guy turned the tables on some would-be carjackers up there in Chicago.
Mm.
A 40-year-old woman and her coworker were able to survive the violent attack thanks to the coworker and his gun. Last week, Jaquita Sims had a flat tire as she made her way to O'Hare International Airport. Her coworker, identified only as a 65-year-old man, I think she's 30 or 40, offered to give her a lift and picked her up on Chicago's west side. Four men soon approached the car at about 4:40 in the morning, pulled guns on Sims and her coworker, and ordered them to get out of the car. Sims said she started screaming her coworker's name. That's when the gunfight started.
Uh-oh.
The 65-year-old legally armed coworker pulled out his gun and used the only 5 bullets he had to defend himself and Sims. He probably had something like a Smith & Wesson Chief Special that was a 5-round revolver. That's what I'm going to guess. The car was hit more than a dozen times. The thugs fled, and the 65-year-old drove himself and Sims to a local hospital. Sims suffered a gunshot wound to the chest. The 65-year-old was grazed by a bullet on his thigh. Both have been released from the hospital. The bad guys have not been caught. Not an unusual outcome in violent crime cases in Chicago. Even if they are caught, it's not likely they will get the punishment they deserve. That's one of the major problems facing this country and Chicago today. Few people are held accountable for their crimes. Carjacking. 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
On your way to the airport. How lucky were you to have had a flat tire and been picked up by your coworker?
Mm-hmm.
Probably called him, and he came a running.
I've always changed mine.
At 4:40 in the morning on your way to the airport.
If I have to.
You might be a little bit late getting to the airport.
Yes, definitely.
You could call AAA and wait 2 or 3 days. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You'll be just as late calling a wrecker to come out there and waiting for a wrecker
Sure.
to come out and do it.
Mm-hmm.
$100 later. And
That's the way it works.
check your tires before you go.
Yeah. Well, who knows what she hit or ran over
Mhm.
or whatever.
Very true.
somebody had.
She needs to get those tires that you can drive 50 miles on once before they go absolutely flat. If they get a hole in them, they'll still hold up for 50 miles.
Really?
Ask Alec Murdoch. It was part of his trial.
I don't know that I could afford those tires.
Or it was on his wife's, his deceased.
Okay. We aliens swarming across our southern border pretty much every day
That's
for the
right.
past few years.
Yeah.
It comes up in
right.
conversation. The flood continues, and no one in Washington seems to have a solution for the never-ending problem. With Texas Governor Greg Abbott sending busloads of the illegals that come across the border into Texas to Chicago and New York and other areas, you would think that someone else would try to pick up the pace and do something.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody up in New York. But the people living in Chicago and New York are fed up, including the local leaders. Local officials in suburban areas outside New York City and Chicago are fighting to keep migrant bus arrivals from unloading migrants in their neighborhoods. The ongoing illegal immigration crisis, which broke a record in December with over 300,000 encounters at the border in a single month, continues to put a strain on communities as migrants are bussed north from the southern border. Since New York City said no more illegals coming in here except between these hours, 8 a.m. and noon, and you have to drop them off at this point only. Well, the bus drivers and Governor Abbott, no doubt, they said, we'll just drop them out on the outskirts of the city, not inside the city.
Yeah.
And that's what they've been doing. They're putting up signs. You know, you see welcome signs to welcome to Jacksonville or welcome to
Yes.
New York or welcome here, welcome. They're putting up unwelcome signs, instructing bus drivers that migrants are not welcome. A New Jersey mayor took to social media saying he has instructed his law enforcement folks and emergency management departments to charter a bus to transport the illegal migrants right back to the southern Texas-Mexican border. The sanctuary cities and states are Governor Abbott's targets. He has a point. Why should border states like Texas have to be responsible? If the illegals had not been encouraged by the president and the sanctuary communities, then this problem would not be as bad. But no. Those communities only care about themselves and have no concern with the problems created along the border states. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
We are a sanctuary city. That means we're not going to let the feds, our local law enforcement's not going to assist the feds like ICE in apprehending and detaining illegals.
Well, you know, we're all paying for this. It's all
We
coming
are.
out of our tax dollars.
We are, definitely.
So when you pay your federal income tax this year,
Oh,
just think about that.
yeah, I'll think about it. Is there a state with no federal income tax? No, can't be. Is there a country with no federal income tax? Maybe.
Right.
Wouldn't that be fun? Let's take a break. Coming up in a few minutes, we've got a couple of commissioners coming in here,
Yeah.
county commissioners. We'll ask them.
A commissioner corner.
The commissioner's corner,
Mhm.
Vice Chairman Robin Knapp, and longtime Commissioner Paul
Yes.
Buchanan.
Right.
They're going to be joining us
Tickled
in
to
here
have
this
them.
morning for Commissioner's Corner, and we'll find out what's on their mind.
Yeah.
I-
What's up for the new year? With the
Oh, I
county?
guarantee you that one of the first things they're going to be talking about is the budget, because, you know, you got 6 months. You got to get that thing together and presented and signed, sealed, and delivered
Plenty
in
of
less
budget
than 6
hearings,
months.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And yeah, we'll talk about the budget hearings too. You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back with weather.
Casey Kasem has unlocked the American Top 40 vaults and is replaying original shows from the 70s. This week, Casey takes you back to a special, the Top 100 Hits of 1978, Part 2. We'll hear big #1 hits from Exile, Andy Gibb, the Rolling Stones, the Commodores, the Bee Gees, and many more. 100 Hits of 1978, Part 2, right here on American Top 40, the 70s.
Check out Casey Saturday mornings 8 to 11 on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME.
With that old phone? Don't. Getting a new phone is easy. Come into Verizon and get one of our best phones on us with Select Trade-in on Unlimited Ultimate Plan. And get a plan that helps you save by only paying for what you need. Act now and get a phone at your Verizon store today. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate Plan required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trading conditions apply.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
Paper shredder's jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Seems like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
A plan every adult family member should consider is the pre-arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home's prepaid funeral plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 455-1281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Doctors Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbin Avenue in Swansboro.
Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local carrier indoor weather team, serving all of your heating and air conditioning needs since 1967. Now offers residential and commercial duct and dryer vent cleaning, and now offers expert residential and commercial plumbing service. In case of a power outage due to a storm or for any other reason, be prepared with a Generac generator for your home or business. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning has Generac generators in stock, ready to install today. Remember, better breathing comes with cleaner air. Let Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning improve the air quality in your home or business with professional air duct cleaning. As always, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning is available 24/7 for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing emergency needs. Turn to the carrier experts, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, with locations in Jacksonville and Hampstead. Visit online, humphreyheating.com. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning since 1967. Relax. We're on the way.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Come on down. That's what the Tideline team is encouraging area boaters and fishermen to do. Never ceases to amaze me at the people who have lived in this area for decades who have never been to the store. When they come in, they look around, and the first thing they say is that they never knew there was so much nautical stuff and supplies in this little store. A word of warning, we still have a lot of cold weather ahead. If you have an outboard motor, make sure to trim it down so that any water that's in the lower unit area will drain out. If you have an inboard outboard motor, you need to have it winterized. If you're not inclined to do it yourself, get that boat down to Tideline before sub-freezing temperatures cost you a lot of money in the spring. For all of your boating and fishing needs, check in at Tideline. The Tideline team is standing by to assist you. Tideline Marine and Family, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Got a small craft advisor in effect from this afternoon through Friday morning. Northwesterly winds today offshore 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 this afternoon. Gust up to 30, seas 2 to 4 feet. Dominant period 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop, increasing to choppy in the afternoon. Tomorrow, northerly winds 15 to 20 with gusts to 25 knots, becoming northeasterly around 10 tomorrow afternoon. Seas 3 to 5 feet, except 2 feet near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. And on Saturday, southeasterly winds 20 to 25 knots, becoming southerly 25 to 30 in the afternoon, then westerly in the evening, diminishing to 20 to 25 after midnight Saturday night. Seas 3 to 5 feet, building to 7 to 10 in the afternoon, then subsiding to 5 to 8 after midnight. That's not subsiding a whole lot. Adjacent sounds and rivers are rough, increasing to very rough in the afternoon on Saturday.
Today it'll be sunny, high of 52. It could be gusty with gusts as high as 21 miles an hour today. Tonight, clear, cold, low of 27. Tomorrow, sunny, high of only 48, and that was the high. Tomorrow night, cloudy, low of 31. Saturday, it's just going to be gross.
Yes.
Rainy. It will be 64, but gusty, 25 mile an hour gusts, potentially 15 mile an hour winds in general. Saturday's not going to be a good day at all. Saturday night, apparently the rain will stop. It'll be mostly cloudy, low of 37, and on Sunday, at a high of 55.
Yeah. Weather.
Yes.
I tell you, El Nino is doing nothing but every 3-4 days.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Kelly and I are dying for you to talk about the story, what happened in Nevada courtroom yesterday.
Oh, man. I've been sitting here watching. If y'all have been wondering what I'm doing on here,
got to see this
you
video.
have got to go on the internet and watch this video. I am just like, whoa.
It was a felon that was in court, and the judge had just sentenced him to 30 years. And
Well,
he went
his
ballistic.
lawyer asked him for probation, to be placed on probation.
Well,
Apparently, he was a frequent flyer.
It
Had
was
been in and
30
out,
years that he got.
and he
That's
wanted
what
probation.
Yeah.
So,
He had a bunch of previous domestic violence
Yes.
and assault convictions.
yes. So, a Clark County, Nevada jury, that's Las Vegas, a judge and a marshal were injured on Wednesday afternoon yesterday after the defendant was denied bond, threw himself over the bench and attacked the judge.
Threw himself.
There's
He did
video.
like a
He
Superman
did.
dive.
It's
Super
like
dive.
a wrestling WWE
Yeah.
Yes.
tackle.
Like
he
a
flew
spear.
like a squirrel, just right into the thing.
The public information officer for the Clark County District Court said the incident happened as Judge Mary K. Holthus was sentencing. This is a guy, but it's pronounced Deborah, Deobra, Redden. Redden was charged with attempted battery and substantial bodily harm. In the video, Redden's attorney requests the judge give his client probation. The judge said, I think it's time he got a taste of something else. Redden is then seen flying in the air over the bench with his arms and legs wide open and landing on the judge. Judge Holtus was injured but did not go to the hospital. Also injured was a marshal who on video is seen, they say, throwing punches. When you look at the video, this guy was doing a beatdown on that guy to get him under
That's
control.
the court reporter. The clerk of court sitting, the reporter is the one, the guy in the suit sitting by, he was punching him. But if you watch the video, the marshal starts, or the deputy, whatever you want to call him, starts
They call
throwing
marshals
punches
there.
as well.
Right.
The judge is like laid out on the floor. I mean, if you watch initially, it looks like she hit her head
She probably
on the
did.
left side of the desk when he tackled her. The flag falls. The little court reporter guy starts throwing punches. You can tell he's not a fighter by the way he throws the punches, but good on him. Then the deputy's involved. And the judge lays on the floor for a good little while before.
Yeah.
I think she was stunned. She looked like
she had a couple stitches, but she was.
She hit her head on
Or
the
was it
desk.
The other guy.
That was the other guy. She didn't go to the hospital.
She didn't. That's right. But he got some stitches.
Yeah.
But
And they're checking out their what they call their protocols to see did we do something wrong? Did we miss something? Well, yeah.
Well, I see this one picture. It shows the whole courtroom
Mhm.
right here, and he's standing before it. Do you see any deputies there?
No, but normally in Oslo courtroom, there's not deputies there. They're right to the right. And I
Right.
don't know, they're above where the judge is.
This may be the guy right there, but
That's
yeah.
his attorney.
But see where he's got to either jump that desk or go around that desk to approach the
I think he went around it.
good Lord.
I think, and this is just me speculating. I'd like to see the other video from that.
Right.
Because he's standing in the one Lee's looking at right there. He is standing
Behind
at
the desk. Yeah.
the desk.
Mhm.
And then he just flying tackles this judge.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like a flying squirrel is what it reminded me of. He just goes sailing through the air. And and what's interesting, the court reporter sees him coming.
Look,
Yeah.
there's a still shot of him in air.
I mean, it is, I've never seen anything like it. It's wild.
Well,
Well,
along
guess
with
what?
the charges he was facing,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
now he's got 3 more charges of assault on protected people.
Yes, he's due back today in court.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I bet he's in chains and shackles.
Wonder what the actual charge was that he was. I know he had previous.
Assault and battery.
Oh yeah, I know he had previous domestic violence, but he'd always been given probation, and that's where
That's where the problem is.
And I blame the previous judges.
Yep, absolutely.
And I'm going to put it on them. I blame, or even district attorneys who are pleading out cases as well. They created that problem right there, because if he's got repeated assault and whatever
Assault and
previous
battery, yeah.
assault, domestic violence, whatever, clearly whatever. Let's say he go to an anger management class. Well, half the time that stuff don't work. You
come
can
on.
bluff your way through that quick. I've seen people bluff their way through
Yep.
it. I mean, and so I think this was just the
Oh
most.
yeah, he had a previous charge allegation of attacking a person with a baseball bat, and when the judge went to sentence him, his words were, "I'm not a rebellious person." He told the judge, later adding he doesn't think he should be sent to prison. "I'm not rebellious, but watch this. Watch me do my Superman fly."
Where's my baseball bat?
Well,
I'll show
this
you what
one-
rebellious is.
He claims he said he was getting a job and trying to turn his life around, but clearly not true.
First of all, who's going to hire him?
Apparently somebody did, because he said he had a new job.
He said,
Well, true.
verify it.
He previously served prison time on domestic battery conviction.
I believe it.
Yes.
But this guy is a danger. I don't think he's got to worry. He's definitely going to get significant prison time now over this.
The court is
Well-
reviewing their protocols.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. We got a visitor.
Yes, we do.
Mhm.
Oh, the one, the only, Paul Buchanan.
Mhm.
morning.
How are you? Oslo County Commissioner for many years.
Yes.
Prior law enforcement for many years. Worked drugs. Taught other cops how to be cops. Future cops.
That's correct.
So are you still working?
Yes.
Wow, my goodness gracious. Still teaching BLET? Still running the unit.
I only do the BLET in the summertime when the chief asks for a special class.
Okay.
We did the last 2 years, 2022 and 2023.
Mm-hmm.
We did a special class for him because he needed some more officers on the street.
Yeah. Wow. We have a big need for officers in a lot of locations. I think the sheriff's office is almost up to staff except for jailers.
That's correct. That's correct.
Detention
When I talked to the sheriff the
officers.
other day, his deputies are up to, they have pretty much
Mhm.
filled their billets out, and the detention officer might be like 12 or 13
Yeah,
short,
something like that. That's what he was saying last week.
because we run that class for him also. We
Oh,
do
do
that
you?
every year.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that the detention officers have to go through certification classes as well.
Correct.
They
Just
have
like telecommunicators, they got to
Yep.
get the certification now.
Yeah, wasn't that way in the old days, was it?
No, it wasn't. Not when you and I. I won't tell you how long I spent in school. It wasn't long.
My
To be a
first one
police
was
officer back in that day.
my first one was 60 hours.
Mine was 80.
Was it?
Yeah, 2 weeks. And now it's up to 16 weeks, and it's going to go
Wow.
up to about another 4.
Wow.
Probably close to, it's going to from 640 hours to 865,
Good God.
Wow.
which will probably take place in January of 2025. They already have pilot programs going on right now.
So if you guys out there are thinking about a career in law enforcement, you can take it because you won't have to take the other course.
No.
If you take your 640-hour course, I think
Right,
it's
640 hours
40
today.
hours. If you get certified now and you keep your certification, guess what? You won't have to take another one.
That is correct.
There may be some in-service training, of course, depending upon your department.
You have to do 24 hours per year now. For
Is that what it is?
For in-service training.
Yeah, we used to, about the only thing we had to do at one time was we had to get we had to qualify on the range. So day and nighttime. Fire grand total.
Just want to know why they're both dressed in black.
Black.
Men in black.
Robin has joined us now. Good morning, Robin. How are you?
Good morning.
Yeah, Robin Knapp, Vice Chairman of the Owensville County Board of Commissioners. So everything good with you guys?
Yeah, so far.
Everyone have a good New Year's, Christmas, New Year's?
Quiet.
Yeah,
Fell
until
asleep.
last night.
Fell
Yesterday.
asleep before
He
they dropped
said
the
that
ball.
word.
Huh?
You're not allowed to say the word quiet.
We had a
Ask
situation.
Kelly, I fell asleep before the ball dropped.
Oh, I was asleep by
I
10:30.
was the same way. 12:30. I was going.
I set my clock. I set my alarm to wake me up at about 3 minutes till midnight so I could get up and kiss Robbie goodnight and go back to bed.
I remember Kelly kissing me, and I kind of felt it and passed out.
Kelly, you're going to have up your game.
I was watching the show. Like, okay.
Watching the ball drop.
I did switch my show to the ball drop and then put it back on my show I was watching.
I was in 1999 going into 2000. First of all, I was down in Bon Air for a reason. I was going to dive at midnight, and I did. I was underwater.
You're going to die or dive?
Dive. I was 103 feet underwater at midnight
Nice.
Wow.
with about 40 other people. I did not have a clue that place would be lit up like that.
Well, you could have gone and taken a penguin plunge at Atlantic Beach on the first.
Why? That's cold water.
People are
This was
crazy.
84
Dedicated.
degree water
Mhm.
in January.
Wouldn't be me.
But then I got back to the townhouse that I had rented, and then I started watching because that is Atlantic Standard Time there, which is 1 hour ahead of Eastern Standard Time. And I got back there in time to watch the ball drop, and then walk all the way across the country. They had ABC was covering every one of the different locations that had ball drops at every time zone. So I stayed up pretty much all night watching all that stupid stuff. Then got up next morning, went diving again. So anyway,
When did you?
what's that?
No, I'm not. Not anymore.
There's
There
are T-shirts down there that said, "We dive, 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 eat, dive, dive, eat, eat, dive, sleep, dive again." Some of it's night diving. It's great, a lot of fun. Oh, you're a diver.
Yes.
You ever done any night diving?
Oh, plenty. I haven't dove in a long time though.
Knock yourself out.
What's wrong?
I ain't diving anywhere where it's dark.
You got lights on.
You got lights.
Uh-huh.
In fact, on the full moon,
Do you have lights behind you?
what lights behind you?
I have to agree with you,
things every
Robin.
once in a while.
No, you
I don't
bump
want to go in a
anything.
dark ocean.
All of a sudden you hear dun 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 dun. No.
Dun, dun.
No. It's funny. One night I was diving there, right on the beach, just as I'm on my way out to the reef, and they have lights on under the pier, and that attracts little fish, and then big fish come up to
I was
feed
just
on the
gonna
little
say,
fish.
yeah, little fish, big
And
fish.
I looked to my right. I just felt something over here, and I looked over there, and it was a big old tarpon, probably 5 feet long. They're nice. They're cute. And they had the biggest scales and the biggest eyes that look like cow eyes. They're so big.
You know, I've been through a lot, but if something like that happened to me, I'd scream like a girl.
Can you wear diapers in those dive suits? Because
Don't need
I
to.
saw something like
you don't
that.
need it, man. Just let it go.
Let her float.
I would scream like a
no.
little girl.
County Commission meeting yesterday.
Yes.
Anything happen? Was it worthwhile? Did you make us any money? Did you save us any money?
A few rezoning. that
Three
was it.
public hearings, rezoning.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Simple.
Okay.
Pretty quick. First of the year meeting.
I think it lasted, what, 45 minutes? It was over.
About 50 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The longest part
Pretty
was
much.
the comments.
Right. And that was just on the rezoning projects. You didn't have public comment. Nobody showed up for that.
No.
Well, no one had anything to
Actually,
say.
we didn't have that many people. We didn't have hardly.
Right.
And Barry Collins was there. The schools. And that was about it.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Well, I have to get down to
Budget.
Yep.
And we already started that process.
I know that. You got 6 months to go, a little less than 6 months.
I would think he'll have that thing done mid-May.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
They're working
Maybe
on it.
sooner.
It could be sooner.
That'll certainly give everyone plenty of time to go over the whole budget.
Well, we go through this every year, you know.
Yes.
We have people out there that, you know, say, "Hey, what's going on with the budget?" We have we have a public hearing for the budget before we finalize it. Opportunity for the citizens to come out and talk, and there's plenty of time between now until May for them to bring up any questions. If they're county employees, they bring it up with the department heads. If they're citizens, they can bring it up with the commissioners or the county manager. So,
And you, all of your budget hearings are open.
yes.
Yes.
People,
anyone
they're
can
not
attend.
there for comment, but people can show up.
They can listen.
They can listen. So they will have an idea of what you guys are doing.
Well, one of the things that Robin brought up yesterday in the meeting was that we need to be thinking about the reevaluation in 2026.
Oh, God. Another one?
Yes, sir. And
Every
Robin
4
brought it up
years.
yesterday. It's every 4 years.
That's right.
And that's the thing that kind of brings up. Paul segued into a thing. You know, there's some verbiage out there that some people think that we, you know, the misinformation that the commissioners raised taxes. You know, we did not raise taxes. Okay, we have by North Carolina general statute, we have to conduct a assessment every 8 years. But Onslow County decided many years ago to do it every 4 years because the sticker shock from 1 year to the 8th year in terms of property taxes would be tremendous. It's kind of like buying a car. If you haven't purchased a car in 15 years and you go down to the dealership and look at the prices now, you'll get sticker shock.
Yep.
So, you know, so we decided to do it every 4 years. The last time that we did this evaluation, we had an outside team that do the evaluation. Some of the property values went up, some of the property values went down. So what did we do? We try to combat that by voting for the tax rate, to decrease the tax rate. And we did from 72 cents, I think it was, to 65.
That's the tax rate, but the
Yeah.
actual real dollars that people paid were more.
Yeah, and with you know, we try to lower the tax rate to help stabilize the increase in cost, but we can't control the increase in cost. Now, had we done this, let's say we were doing the evaluation in 2026 and we hadn't had one 2 years ago, or the last time we did it, that'd be 8 years. It'd be a massive sticker shock. And then the other thing is we wouldn't have decreased the tax rate. So every 4 years, you know, if the prices go up, we try to decrease the tax rate and drop it from where it is now. What'd you say, 65.5?
65.5.
Yeah, cents for $100. It was 72. And we'll try to decrease it. So when you say that the commissioners voted to raise taxes, that's just plain out wrong. It's a lie. We voted to decrease the tax rate.
But values of our homes go up, and
Everything
the
went up.
amount of dollars that we actually pay go up.
Well, if you go walk around in the grocery store, look at the prices of
Oh,
food
I can't
and
do that anymore.
gasoline prices, the cost of lumber, the cost of supplies, the cost of workers, what they get paid. Everything has increased, and you know we can thank Joe Biden for that.
So if you had not voted to decrease the tax rate, people would have been paying even more
Absolutely.
than what they did pay.
Definitely, yes, ma'am.
But,
Okay.
but you would have had extra money that you were not entitled to by the same token, because you're supposed to keep it revenue neutral, right?
Right. I was going to ask you
Well,
revenue.
it's kind of hard to keep it revenue neutral. I mean, if it did that, it would be really lower. Your tax rates would be. We try to do the best we can, but if you went revenue neutral, we would probably be in a financial trouble.
Yeah, because the revenue neutral. If we went to revenue neutral, then subsequently it's going to catch up with us with the cost of living and everything else. So if we drop it down to 55 cents, for example, you know, and in 4 years it's going to catch up to us in the long run. It's going to hurt the county.
Mathematically speaking, and these ladies know that I like to do math. Mathematically speaking, we hear about all of the extra people that are coming into Onslow County. We're now at 210,000 or something like that. Taxpayers, supposedly.
213,
230, whatever. Up quite a bit from past years. Now, these people have to pay taxes if they buy a home.
That's right.
So they're going to be increasing the amount of money that's coming into the coffers. Yes, I know there are expenses associated with that the county has to deal with. Infrastructure, one of them.
Well, you know, one of the biggest things that I don't know what Robin's hearing, but I'm hearing, you know, we ought to give more money to this department and this other department. But the thing about it is we've done fair market analysis. I don't know how many times now, Robin, what, 3?
Good point.
And we try to do whatever we can to help our employees. We want to keep our employees. You've heard him and I talk a lot of times about we got the best employees in the country.
We do.
And they do a good job. And we can't afford to lose them because all of you know when you have to retrain somebody,
Cost you money.
it costs you money.
Yes.
And
It's
they're
not
not
worth it.
and they're not really any good for a period of time. Once
At
you
least
get
a
on
year or
board.
two.
Yeah, that's like bringing a new cop
And he
on
makes a
board.
good point about the cost analysis. That's very important because we have to keep these jobs financially competitive with the rest of the county or the rest of the country, the rest of the state. You know, you got a big county like Onslow County. Okay, we got 26 departments.
Correct.
Within our county, and you expect to pay the county manager $75,000 to do that? Are you kidding me? That's not going to happen, especially when you have neighboring counties that are smaller than us that are, upwards of the high 100 to low 200 salary range, So you have to be competitive, but that's just not the county manager. That's across the board. Our detectives, our deputies, our fire and rescue people, our social service workers, our teachers, we have to make sure we compensate for them. And like Paul has said in the past, and I've said, we've got the best. I'd stack our employees up against any other county employees, the other 99 counties in North Carolina. They're top notch, and they earn everything that they get.
Yep. Let's take a break. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Hello, shoppers, and Happy New Year from your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, where good things call Sless, down the street on the Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street in Maysville. Beef back ribs, just $2.99 a pound. Whole bottom round Hollywood, just $3.59 a pound. Hog jowls, $1.99 a pound. How about single pack T-bone steaks, just $6.99 a pound? Pork spare ribs, just $1.79 a pound. 10 pounds or more fresh ground chuck, just $3.59 a pound. How about a 10-pound bag of fresh fryer leg quarters, just $4.99 for a 10-pound bag? And remember, the beef and pork is cut fresh every day by the butchers at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, and they use only the finest and certified Angus beef and Sanderson's farm chicken. Over in produce, tender asparagus is just $1.99 a pound. Russet baking potatoes, 99 cents a pound. Zesty limes, great for those drinks, just 49 cents each. Western Honeycrisp apples, just $1.99 a pound. Sweet golden pineapples, $2.99 each. Haas avocados, 99 cents each. And crisp, fresh broccoli crowns, great for those salads, just $1.99 a pound. And you get 2-liter Cokes or Sprites. The pig price is 2 liters for just $3. That's your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, where good things call Sless, down the street on the Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street in Maysville. Remember, say big with the pig.
Wismart and Chappie's Chicken. And for over 50 years, Great Gas and Oil Company has kept our community comfortable year-round with quality heating and cooling products and dependable service. In addition to heating and air conditioning service, Great Gas and Oil Company does generators, tankless water heaters, and quality appliance repair. For service, phone 910-347-7138. Locally owned and operated by Jerry and Jeff Allen and Bobby and Louise Williams.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back, and we're fiddling around with some electronic stuff over here, trying to make it work. Some headsets, and Lee's having issues, but she doesn't need them.
Oh, wait.
You finally turned it on, adjusted it, and got it right? Silence is golden. All right, gentlemen. What's the next order of business? What kind of areas are we having issues with in the county?
We're doing pretty good right now. We're in the best shape we've ever been in all the time I've sat on as a commissioner. We've done so many things. There's only a couple of projects that really need to be done. And senior services, we talked about that last time we were here. That's a $15 million project, and we haven't decided how we're going to handle that because we're going to have to borrow the money on that one. But the EOC, we took money from the senior services, which was just ARCA money, and put it over to the EOC. So the EOC is moving forward. But the biggest thing we need is a quarter cent sales tax. We got to get that.
How are you going to do that? Or get a holdout?
It's a good question. I mean, we have the support of probably 75% of what's going on, but we just don't have the other.
Okay, got 75% of
Well, it takes the delegation. It takes the representatives to support us in that. We tried to get some legislation where we, the commissioners, can make that decision, but that never happened.
Yeah,
what's the boondoggle there?
It's not a boondoggle. It's a matter of, in my opinion, pride and someone's, a couple of, I guess, their perspective on things. And I think yesterday the chairman spoke about, we're going to send probably a unified, unanimous proclamation saying that to our representatives, to the state assembly, saying that we support allowing the commissioners to make the decision on the sales tax. Take it out of the hands of the representatives, because we're getting no traction whatsoever with our representatives.
Now, the way it was not long ago, one gentleman, as the holdout, you had a couple of people say, okay, not a problem, right? But then it only takes one. It gets down like a jury. You got to have a unanimous decision from our local representatives.
That's
and
correct.
do they ever attend the county board meetings?
No, rarely. No.
So I'm not understanding. How do they know better? How can they say, this was the quote, y'all don't have a budget problem. You got a spending problem, a revenue problem. You got a spending problem.
That's exactly what he said.
If our fund was so healthy as it was, how can that mean that we have a spending problem?
Exactly. So it's a dichotomy. So, you say that we have a spending problem, fine. But we don't have a spending problem, because what you just said, if our fund balance is as healthy as it is, where's the spending problem?
Correct.
Okay. So we don't have a spending problem. Now, Paul and I have talked about this, and I think we're on the same sheet of music. We believe in growth of Onslow County as long as it's conservative, as long as it's financially fiscal, it's conservative, not just throwing money out there for this or that and not realizing what you need to take care of in your own backyard. So we don't have a spending problem. We have a funding problem. And I hate to say it, we have a funding problem. With the latest appraisals of the homes that was conducted 2 years ago, set to do it again in 2026. Prices are going to go up, because with this economy, if we were in a different economy, I would be hopeful for it. But if we continue with this particular economy that we have right now, everything is just going to increase, which means your taxes are going to go up unless we decide to lower the tax rate, which I know for a fact that the majority of the commissioners are adamantly against any tax increase.
That's
absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
with life and struggles as it is, there's going to come a time possibly in the future where you will have no choice.
Well, the biggest thing that says this right now is the formula, the school board
That's
formula.
right.
If
I
it
was
wasn't
gonna
for
bring
that
that up.
formula, we could be in trouble, because we had to raise taxes years ago. I think it was 9 cents we had to raise, but we had to build 2 schools. And look at all the schools we built in the last 20 years, quite a few schools. Now we got Tabernacle fixing to come up off of the Tabernacle area where that soccer fields were at. They're going to build a new elementary school there.
It's just like with Sharon, when she was the county manager, and we voted on it, she puts 3 cents away for fire and 3 cents away for capital improvements for the schools. And that's helped tremendously. It's 3 cents, but that, when you talk about our property tax values and the appraisals, you're talking about a lot of money. And that helps offset the costs of, the capital improvement projects with the school and trying to increase, the fire department.
And the biggest thing with that quarter cent sales tax, the first one we did, I hope we can get another one. 2 cents we rolled back, and the other 2 cents we put into public safety.
That's right.
But actually, where it all went to was emergency services.
That's right.
So we could put volunteers during the daytime. Now they can't get anybody to be volunteers
Right.
anymore. They have plenty of volunteers at night. So what we do is we give them a full time, which is a 40 hour, or we give them a part time, which is 20 hours. So I think our numbers are probably up in the 50s now of those type of people that are doing that for us, but they're helping out the volunteer firefighters during the daytime. But that other 2 cents has been helping do that. So
That's right.
we have that money when we get it. But like I talked to some people the other day at Hardee's, and they said, Paul, why aren't we doing more of it, of course, in sales tax? Because everybody pays it. And it's a big help.
Agreed.
I agree with it.
And it's, it's.
But they need to talk to the local legislators.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Go ask them why.
That's right.
Well, you
'Cause
can
that's
ask
who
them
the blame
why.
lies
You can
with.
ask them in November too.
Absolutely, you can.
And I said some
At the
things.
polls.
Paul's a veteran. I mean, he's a Purple Heart winner. I'm a veteran of military service. We have a lot of veterans. We have a lot of military here, and they deserve everything, absolutely everything they got coming to them. But what hurts us though is that they get waivers for property taxes on cars and things like that. So we have to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that we're stable and keep our fund balance healthy as we possibly can.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break, and we have a call on the line. Do not hang up. We'll be right back. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME.
Hubert looks forward to serving you throughout the new year with all your sporting arm needs and personal safety. Located at 111 Second Amendment Lane in Hubert between Jacksonville and Swansboro, Flatwoods Outfitters is Onslow County's oldest sporting and firearm facility. Flatwoods Outfitters has a long gun or pistol in stock to fit your need, whether for hunting or personal safety. Take advantage of their outdoor shooting range to practice or to learn how to safely operate your firearm, which Flatwoods highly recommends. At Flatwoods, you can sight in your scope to be sure of perfect accuracy to bag that trophy. They carry all the major brand names of long guns, shotguns, and pistols, as well as ammunition. If you are interested in a concealed weapon permit, Flatwoods Outfitters can assist with that also. Flatwoods Outfitters, 111 Second Amendment Lane, just off Highway 24 in Hubert, where they aim to preserve our hunting heritage, wildlife, and constitution.
Great Gas and Oil Company, and of course, Wismart and Chappie's Chicken, located at 4111 Gum Branch Road, right here in Jacksonville, and 633 Sandridge Road, Hubert, has all you need when it comes to convenience for gas, cold beverages, and a great selection for quick pickup essentials. Enjoy fresh, not frozen, delicious meals at Chappie's Chicken, located inside Wismart, 4111 Gum Branch Road, and 633 Sandridge Road, Hubert. So if you're in a hurry, get it all. Gas, ice cold beverages, convenience store items, and delicious, fresh, not frozen, Chappie's Chicken at Wismart, 4111 Gum Branch Road, Jacksonville, and 633 Sandridge Road, Hubert.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we are back and with the County Commissioners, Paul Buchanan, a veteran, and Vice Chairman, what's his name? Robin Knapp. Is that who this is?
That's who it is.
Anyway,
Always
they're in here and joining us on the phone, Mike McHugh. Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Rayford. Happy New Year to you all. And
Same to you, sir.
Commissioner Buchanan and Commissioner Knapp, good morning as well. Hey,
Morning.
I'm just jumping into the show, so I don't know if you, I don't think you talked about this because not many people know about it, but we're going to be holding, the Swansboro Area Chamber of Commerce will be holding a candidates forum for the Republican candidates on February 7th. That's a Wednesday.
Okay.
At Swansboro Town Hall in the evening. Starts at 6 o'clock. The invitation went out to the candidates, including your two guests that are sitting there. So, guys, you either got emails yesterday, and you'll be getting a letter in the mail as well, too. So, it's a chance for the citizens to come out and see the candidates and hear their views and their answers to questions. And as in the past, we've offered questions, or we've asked the audience to submit questions to the panel when they come. So again, it's going to be Wednesday, February 7th in Swansboro. On Monday, the 5th, we're going to have Board of Education candidates, same venue, Swansboro Town Hall, beginning at 6 o'clock.
Okay, let's get these straight. On the 5th, you're going to have a Board of Education conference, meeting, forum.
Candidates forum.
Yes.
Candidates forum for Board of Education on Monday, the 5th.
Okay, that's at 6.
And then on the 7th, Wednesday, will be the commissioners.
Okay, got it.
Got it.
All right. So, wow, you're going to have a slate of a whole lot of slates of calendar
We're getting a lot of
people
chairs,
there.
yeah.
Wow.
They have a lot of chairs.
Yeah, you better get all your mics
Full
ready.
house. We did it for municipal back in the fall. We had a full house. I would expect the same for when the Board of Education. I should add too, the Board of Education night of Monday, February 5th. We're also going to start the evening with the two Republican House candidates. That would be Representative George Cleveland and the challenger Wyatt Gable.
Okay.
So we'll have that to start off. But I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's great for the community, and it's great for the candidates to get out there and come over to Swansboro, this part of the county.
All right. Sounds like a winner.
Thank
Michael.
you, Mike.
Thank you.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank
Thanks.
you. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Well, there's your opportunity to submit a question to Mike McHugh about increasing the sales tax to the representatives during that forum.
Okay, perfect time.
I'd like to hear what they've got to say.
We better take a news break before we get behind again. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Former President Trump's legal team is asking the Supreme Court to rule against taking his name off the primary ballot in Colorado.
A 4-3 decision by Colorado's Supreme Court cited the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause, ruling Trump's role in the January 6th riot at the Capitol disqualifies him from holding office.
Fox's Jared Halper. More than 150 names are named in a now unsealed document in a 2015 lawsuit against sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell.
One victim was asked if Epstein ever talked to her about Bill Clinton. She answered, quote, he said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls.
Fox's Brooks Singman. There are also mentions of former President Trump, Prince Andrew, former Epstein attorney Alan Dershowitz, and magician David Copperfield, among others. There's nothing proving anyone broke the law or did anything wrong here. There aren't many details that weren't already public. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1.
WSME.
It's live and local. Real talk.
Okay, we're back live in local Real Talk, and County Commissioners Paul Buchanan and Robin Knapp are in the building, in the hot seat, and they've all switched chairs there all of a sudden. I'm not sure what's going on.
some of our audience,
Someone commented that they
they wanted
could
to
not see the guests.
Oh, is that
they
why?
wanted to
Back of
see
their
their
heads. They wanted to
faces.
see their faces. So,
Oh, they're just
So now
checking
they
your
get the
eyes.
back of our heads.
yeah, they know what we
They're
look
checking your
okay.
eyes to see if you're lying is what they're doing.
That's old technique.
Body
Yeah.
language.
It's all in the body language.
And it works too. What the sales tax? So if you guys have can get it, why can't our legislature, because it's made up of more than actually three guys from Onslow County in the state house.
3 in the House, 1 in the Senate. Yes.
Yeah, it's more than them throughout the county, throughout the state.
I think it's just one representative that's been holding out.
That's just in Onslow County. But
Mhm.
why can't?
Yeah, but
why
then
can't-
why
But if they
doesn't?
come together, the rest of them will follow.
Yeah,
That's right.
The rest of them help out.
But
I mean,
haven't other counties went in and got like an exemption, and they said, where they voted and said, okay, Kelly's County the commissioners can do it.
But it has to be like a local bill that's submitted and has
Yeah,
to be
that's what I'm
all
saying.
unanimous by the representative.
I believe we did
Was it I'm not sure if it was a referendum or no, it wasn't a referendum.
You need to put it on the ballot.
It needs to be passed somehow or another.
I think it needs to go to the ballot.
we sent. I think we sent a document to Raleigh about
Mhm.
this. I don't know,
Mhm.
about a year ago.
Yeah, I think so.
And
Didn't get any answer.
who in Raleigh did you send it to?
That's a good question. We'd have to ask the manager.
Yeah, but right now it's been crickets.
I would say get up with their senator and go through him and let him help walk it through.
Well, what really bothers me as being a county commissioner for the last almost 8 years is that, okay, and Paul's been on longer, obviously, is that, we're giving us a budget and 81% to 82% of our budget is mandated by the state.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other 19% of our budget or 18% of the budget is our general fund that we can do what we need to and work on our fund balance. But there are certain parts that we have to find a way to fund the schools, to fund public safety, to fund social services and all that stuff.
Here's my beef.
But my problem is that, they put all of these local mandates on the county commissioners, but they don't provide the funding.
Right.
Okay, so it's kind of like, and the way that's one of the reasons why I'm running again, and I know that's one of the reasons Paul's running again, is because we got to fight this, because it feels like you're putting all this responsibility on us as county commissioners to take the blame or to take
Which is what you do, right?
What we do every day. with no state intervention whatsoever. Thank goodness we have Mike Lazar as our senator. He pushes for everything he possibly can for his home county, and my hat's off to him.
Right.
He's done a remarkable job. But we have to fight, and we have to continuously meet these budget requirements. It gets tougher every year, so we have to become innovative in our financial decisions in terms of, we have to prioritize, and that's what we've been trying to do. And I think we've been very successful with the manager that we had, Sharon, prior to us. And now we've got David Smitherman, who's walking the same path. And, to be where we're at right now with one of the healthiest fund balances is remarkable, to say the least.
I would say you've done an excellent job.
Well,
I appreciate that.
You brought up exactly what I was going to bring up there. Reduce the size of the classrooms. My God, Paul and I probably got
That's
a crappy
right.
education because we had like 32, 33 people in the classroom.
I remember being in
correct.
in junior high school, and I remember being in there, and I think we had 42 students in that, and it was one of the toughest classes I took. I remember that in junior high school, and it was a history class. But we didn't have any problems. But then again, things were different back when I was coming up in the 70s, as a high school kid to now. Things are totally different.
Yeah, well, and even on the school buses, Paul, I drove one. I don't know whether you did or
No,
not.
I did not.
You drove one.
I drove a school
Yeah, he
bus.
did.
Yeah, and as a high school student for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
My bus capacity was 67.
My goodness, that could never happen today.
I quite often had more than 67 on board, but just how many, you know what the seating capacity was? 54. I had those other people standing in the aisles, holding on for dear life.
It's you
Seriously.
driving, yeah.
I believe that.
35 miles per hour maximum speed limit for those
Yeah.
buses too.
Right.
Well, I know we're coming on budget season again, and some people may not understand how this process works. So can you guys explain that the budgets come from the department heads? They are submitted to the county manager, and there's a team. It comes to salaries and increases, you can't do one group raises without giving the other, correct?
That's correct.
That's what I thought.
You can, but you shouldn't.
Well, when they did the market analysis, then we did groups at a time. We might have did 6 or 7 departments. Then we did another market analysis with the same market analysis, and we did the other 6 groups, other 6 departments. And that's how we did all 26 of them.
That's right.
And they got the market analysis up to where it needed to be. And I think we started off with the sheriff's department because they were the lowest. And we started out with them in a couple other areas and DSS, and we kept going through all that. But the biggest problem we had when we did the Springstead study many years ago, and then we didn't continue it. Some of the commissioners went against it and didn't do it anymore. So that's why it cost us so much more money in the market analysis, because it was quite a bit of money the first time we did it to get our employees up to where they needed to be.
And
they're still not there.
I don't think they're still where they need to be.
They're
No,
All of
they're
them.
not.
Yeah.
Look, and it's not. It's just not the sheriff's department. That's one of the biggest emphasis. Is the paying our deputies and our sheriff personnel appropriately according to the market analysis. But not only them, but the social workers. These social workers, they run ragged. I mean, look, I was in law enforcement for 27 years, and I can tell you right now, coming here, working cases with DSS in the middle of the night, these people are overworked, underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find more bodies for them, find the funding to provide more bodies for them, and to increase their salary along with the sheriff's deputies, along with the detention center people. These people have a thankless job, and they do it. They do it routinely, because out of their they hang on to their profession, but that also goes to our firefighters. That also goes all the way across the board. And that's one of the things that I know that I'm going to be focusing on is trying to raise their salaries to make it more equitable, and so that it doesn't hurt our.
You want to retain
budget.
those employees.
But there's also what people don't understand, like health department staff. You've got, when with the WIC program, you've got young children coming there from 0 to 5. There's medical care. Some people come to the health department for medical care, and that's the only medical care they get. So those people, we need to make sure that those jobs are competitive and that there isn't a decrease in staff there. You've got, staff such as, like EMS, okay? We need more of those. They're doing community paramedic program and everything else.
Yeah,
The community paramedic program goes to people's home. That's another group. But sometimes this is the only medical care these people get. But you have to. I personally think the entire county staff, I don't care what their job is, needs to be. Their salaries need and cost of living increases because some of them hadn't had anything for a
Need to
long
be
time.
competitive.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, that's like that one year where we gave 10%.
What's that?
Remember, we gave 1 year was almost 10%.
That's
Because of ARCA money and other monies and funds that we had.
And they were appreciative. I have
They were
friends
very
that work. Yeah.
appreciative of that. And the thing was, when we had the vote on it, there was we could get $4,000 of ARCA money straight out with it was not cold or anything. So Robin and I had talked about it. And what we did was we went ahead and gave them the $1,000 bonus and a 2% increase, because a 2% increase went on to their darn salary. And they got that every year.
You know, and we have to make sure that we take care of our employees, because if we don't, we lose them.
Right.
And
Cheaper to keep them.
it is cheaper to keep them, because you talk about one deputy to train one deputy to get
Right.
the salary, and everything's over $1 million.
Well, has your,
But I have talked to Sheriff Thomas, and I know Paul has too. He's got some innovative ideas and how to increase the funding for the sheriff's department that I'm not really, I don't want to discuss right now, because we're trying to finalize some things. But he's got some very innovative ideas and very smart ideas.
that's good.
And some of the ideas that he's proposed to me or talked to me about it makes a lot of sense, and it'll save the taxpayers money. And so I'm looking forward to working with him in the future on that budget, and working with the rest of the departments in the county.
Well, what's your vacancy rate right now within the county? Has it come down?
I can't even tell you
I
that.
can't give you the number. It's still high.
Yeah.
It's high. I know. I do a lot of work with DSS. A lot of staff do, and I work with other counties, other DSS in other counties as well. And I mean, they still have a high rate.
Right.
Health department has a high rate.
They do.
I mean, it's just hard. These are jobs that you get burned out quick, and I think there needs to be, in addition to salary, if you have more employees, that's less of a caseload. You've got some people 20, 30 cases. That's hard to do. And you have no time, and there's deadlines, especially a CPS case. That's a court case and everything. A lot of times, you know, these people are working round the clock. But I also think too, there's some naysayers in the county that complain that well, county employees don't need raises, but then they complain there's not enough EMS workers. You can't have it both ways. You either,
that's
increase the salaries.
that's an important part. You know, and I worked narcotics most of my career. You know, Commissioner Buchanan has worked in the police department, narcotics and all that stuff. But you know, there was a time when an NCIS on a federal level, we were having a budget crunch. And we had about a 12-man narcotics unit that was reduced down to about 6 people because of budget crunches. But we were expected to keep doing the same amount of work, the same volume work. Our caseloads increased. And there was a time, a period of about 3 to 5 years during that time frame where me physically was getting burned out because we were just taking on so much and there was no end in sight. So that's just at one level. Imagine these other social workers that have to go out there on call. They have to go out at all times of the day, just like a detective, just like a deputy sheriff and firefighters. You can get burned out. So we have to do everything we can to maintain them and to help them meet the market analysis so that they feel like they're doing, you know, what they're doing, they're getting paid for it. And that's where I stand on that. And I think Paul feels the same way.
We did a couple different things. One of the things is we gave our employees more time off too.
That's right.
For holidays. And some people questioned me, why did you give so much time off to them? Because they deserve it.
Absolutely, they deserve
Sure.
You get questioned, but there's always naysayers and everything. But
Exactly. There always will be.
But what you said about, you know, the naysayers out there talking about you can't have it both ways. That's exactly right. You can't have it both ways. You know, either, you know, you don't have enough EMS people. You just can't do it. I mean, your point was so spot on.
The biggest thing is taking care of your employees and providing the services to the people of the county. And that takes a lot of money, where our taxes go. And it also, but it provides us with that service. And even though like we all live in this city, we still get county services.
Yeah, my concept of being from a leadership standpoint is, you know, you take care of your people financially, you take care of your people with equipment to give them the proper equipment to conduct their jobs, and you also provide them with the proper training so they can adequately do their job.
Right.
And you know, that's a 3-prong effect, and you have to stick by that. And you let them do what they have to do. You got to keep them motivated.
And a lot of people don't stop and consider that not only are you paying their salary, you're also, you know, contributing to their health insurance, their retirement.
A lot of money involved.
There's a lot of money involved. It's just not that simple.
I've got a suggestion to raise more funds.
Sales tax.
No, another one.
I'm scared.
Get together with all the district judges and the Superior Court judges. A lot of times you see cost of court. That's the only punishment for speeders or whatever. There's a fine that's that's associated with that. Fine plus cost of court. The fines go where?
Board of Education.
Thank you. So why don't we get together and make sure these judges understand that just cost of court taking care of themselves is not the answer here, because it's legitimate and it's a legitimate fine, and people deserve the fine when they get caught doing this stuff. And so the vast majority of the fines actually go to the school system. But if they just slap them on the wrist with the cost of court,
Well, who's responsible for setting that amount?
the judge.
I mean, does the judge have to follow through the state? Does the state got a
There's a
guideline?
maximum fine for every offense.
Well,
generally
then,
speaking.
judge, let's max it out.
There you go. $150 fine plus cost of court. It's $180 cost of court, by the way. The last time I checked.
Sometimes it's 200 and something, 250.
For cost of court?
Yeah.
Go get a speeding ticket. You'll see real
No.
quick.
No, don't want to do that.
I don't either.
You talked about a while ago equipment, and you not to pick on Chris anymore, but the sheriff has done so much with his grants. You ought to see what he has done.
Oh, yeah.
Their crime scene investigative unit, and you and I have worked
Oh,
crime scenes
yes.
before. They've got the state of the art equipment, and some of that
Cool.
equipment is amazing. What they can do with shell casings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know.
And he's the grants that he's got up with the range. You know, the county commissioners helped give him some money to build a range. He needed his own range. Now he has a building out there. Now he's got a shooting house out there that's fixing to be put in, which is for Sims Ammunition is what it's going to be. But it's going to teach our officers. The big facility that he's building is going to have a jail cell in it. It'll have a school reception area in it. And it'll have a classroom in it. It'll all be built on the facility out there at the range, which is out there at the government center. It's going to be a big help to training our officers on how to do building searches.
And I will tell you this, Sims ammunition hurts if you get hit.
We both know that.
No, it hurts. It hurts worse than a paintball.
But I'm just going to the fact that these grants are out there, and he's working hard on it. And so is we have a grant writer now too. That grant writer is helping out everything in the county.
That was going to be my next question.
In fact, you know, it's if you look at the last couple of county commissioner meetings, we've had a lot of grant proposals, and like he said, we have a grant writer. So whether it's the health department or social services or the airport, EOC or the sheriff's department, they're being very innovative and they're doing the research and they're filling out these grants, which helps tremendously offset the budget costs. And it's free money. A lot of times there's no match to that grant. If there is a match, it's very minimal. And that, you know, we've got money that we can give to that grant match. So my hat's off to the employees for doing what they're doing.
Well, speaking of the airport, is there any new news or anything expansion or anything going on at the airport? Weren't they doing something to the runway at one point?
At one point they
That's still on the.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still they're in the process of that, but they have
Most of that's federal money, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
FAA money.
You have a new
There's
manager
some,
out there
there's some
too.
state money too. There's some DOT money to expand that road.
Right. We have another caller.
We do. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, everybody. This is Chris.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Hope everyone is staying warm this morning.
So far.
Yeah. Robin and Paul, I have a question, and I heard the airport just came up. The fees for parking, which don't necessarily agree with the charges on them, but where does that money earmarked for?
That's earmarked for the airport, and that's a standalone. We don't budget hardly anything for the airport because you have the federal money, DOT money, and that money from all that goes into the airport. That way, we don't budget much money to the airport. That's what it comes from the parking fees.
And that's overseen by who, Paul?
That would be overseen by the manager.
The airport director.
Okay, great. I appreciate your help. Appreciate both of y'all serving, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in the Meet the Candidate forums.
Yes,
and
you
look
will.
forward to having you folks on the board again.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate it, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Take care.
Bye.
Well, I want to say something about the airport. So my office, we had to go attend a training back in Dallas back in the summer, and we flew out of the airport here. And it was much easier and a lot
Yes.
cheaper to leave that car there for 6 days than it was.
Go to
we
Raleigh.
had to do it in
Durham.
the past and leave it in Raleigh and pay almost $200. It was amazing. Trip back didn't turn out good, but that was a Mother Nature and plane thing, not that. But it was they have some kind of amazing airport scanner thing there because going through the checkpoint and everything was awesome. Very
Yeah.
quick, very easy.
Not
I
for
love
me.
our
Yeah.
airport.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you carry.
Well,
a
you're
million
different in
things.
everything you
Yeah.
do.
But I would highly recommend people, if they can, to fly out of Jacksonville. One, it's cheaper to pay to park, and two, it's quicker, and it was smoother to me.
It is.
And I fly a
There you
lot,
go.
so I can say that. Yeah,
And I don't like driving.
yeah. Well, I had to
From
drive
here to-
back, but don't get me.
I think
started
our
on that
airport
trail.
is awesome, and I think the county's done a great job with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
It's
expansion
really
of it.
nice.
I remember when I first got here in 1990, and then till now, it's 180 degrees.
Yeah, and they started getting
State of
some
the art.
direct flights in, which was
Mhm.
nice.
Mhm.
That
hopefully-
provided us a
No.
lot there.
And hopefully we'll get some flight rerouted through Jacksonville, the expansion of the flight routes.
That would be good.
Well, there's
Yes.
a direct flight to Dallas now
Mhm.
on American Airlines. Well, I always fly Delta, but
we'll
but yeah,
fly
there's
American.
direct flights. So
Okay. Let's take a break, do some weather. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Chris Rader, your host for Sports Talk. Make sure you join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. as we welcome in the Jacksonville Onslow Sports Commission team, Marisa Reeder and Scott Smith. They'll talk about upcoming events in the new year for the Sports Commission. We'll see you at 9 a.m. on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
If you plan to rebuild, remodel, repair, or do cottage or home improvements, Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City, should be your first stop. Williams Hardware carries power tools and equipment, chains and fasteners, plumbing and electrical supplies, along with Gerber, Buck, and Case knives. Williams Hardware is your helpful, handy hardware store. Williams Hardware cuts glass to size and custom threads pipe. When the chores are done and the cleanup is finished, light up that Wilmington grill from Williams Hardware. Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City. Open Monday through Saturday from 7:30 to 6 p.m. and Sundays for your convenience, noon till 5. Phone Williams Hardware, 252-726-7158.
Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro reminds you to check your mailbox and find your quote on homeowners insurance. Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro goes the extra mile to make sure you're in good hands, like helping you customize your home and windstorm coverage with their Write Your Own home policy. Yes, save even more when you bundle your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, and even your golf cart. Remember, if it rolls or floats, call Tammy for a quote. You and everything you own are in good hands with Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro. Call today, 910-326-5383. Tammy Fry Allstate, 638 West Corbett Avenue in the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro. Check your mailbox today for savings on your homeowner's insurance.
Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm repair and cleanup. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing, fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want to paint and maintain, power wash, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Chino Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Chino Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Chino Italiano on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
It's live and local Real Talk on Freedom 90.
Need a boat? Got a boat? Want a boat? Tideline Marine is doors will be opening in about 7 minutes, so come on down. You can get a boat of your choice. It never ceases to amaze me, though, but the people who live in this area, or maybe it's some of them who just moved back to this area, have not been in Tideline Marine, even though they've got a boat. They just don't know it's there, apparently. When they come in, they do look around. The first thing they say is, my God, how'd you ever get all this stuff in here? There's a lot of stuff inside that store down at Tideline. There's also a lot of cold weather ahead, and we're going to hear about that in just a second or two. If you have an outboard motor, make sure you trim it down. If it's parked in your driveway, trim it down. That way, any water that's accumulated in that lower unit will drain out If you don't, it's going to freeze and it could have a problem for you. Water, when it freezes, expands and it will crack metal. You would not believe the amount of stuff. If it's an inboard, outboard, you better do it because you're going to be facing a very expensive repair bill and maybe even replacing an entire block if you've got water in there. And they do have water in them. You need to have it winterized. If you're not comfortable in doing it yourself, get it on down to Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Small craft advisory is in effect from this afternoon through Friday morning. Northwesterly winds today, 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Gust up to 30 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, dominant period 6 seconds, sounds and rivers of moderate chop, becoming choppy this afternoon. Tomorrow, northerly winds 15 to 20 with gusts to 25 knots. Then switching around to the northeast around 10 knots in the afternoon tomorrow. Seas 3 to 5 feet, 2 feet around near the shore. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. And then there's Saturday. Southeasterly winds 20 to 25 knots, becoming southerly 25 to 30 in the afternoon. Then switching around to the west in the evening, diminishing to 20 to 25 knots after midnight. It's going to be pretty breezy, y'all. Seas 3 to 5 feet, building to 7 to 10 in the afternoon and evening. Adjacent sounds and rivers are rough, increasing to very rough in the afternoon on Saturday. And on the local scene, visiting from Japan, we have our resident Asian from Japan, right?
Yes, I'm Mito Ravagis.
Mito Ravagis.
All right, today we got sunny with highs near 52. Light northwest wind becoming north 9 to 14 miles per hour in the morning, and winds could gust as high as 21 miles per hour. Tonight, we're going to have clear skies with a low around 27, north wind 5 to 7 miles per hour. Friday will be sunny with a high near 48, north wind 3 to 7 miles per hour. For Friday night, a slight chance of showers after 3 a.m., increasing clouds with a low around 31 degrees. East wind will be 3 to 6 miles per hour with a chance of precipitation set at 20%. Saturday, showers mostly after 8 a.m., high near 64. East wind 7 to 15 miles per hour becoming south in the afternoon. Winds could gust as high as 25 miles per hour. Chances of precipitation is 90%, so it's going to be a rainy day on Saturday. New precipitation amounts between 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch possible. And Saturday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 37.
Is that knots?
No,
The wind?
that's miles per hour.
It's a joke for Robin.
Oh, he doesn't know what a knot is, right? Paul probably knows how
He'll
much
turn
a knot
around
is.
on me, so I'm not going any further. Before we go any further,
So
I have
funny.
a comment from a viewer that I wanted to share.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about spending versus grants, bringing money in, et cetera. And he said, I believe one problem is that some people nowadays don't understand the nature of compromise. Rarely do you get the check off to check off every box on your list. But those people act like if they don't get everything, then it wasn't fair. And I think that's a very good analysis. You know, you sit there and you try to do everything that you can to raise employee wages, to provide extra services to the county, and not always can you do everything that's on your list.
And that's a good point. And the person who I don't know who that person was that brought up.
It was one of our
compromise.
listeners.
But I guess the master of that, people don't realize the master of compromise was willing to compromise to get his goals accomplished was none other than Ronald Reagan. He was a great compromiser. He would literally have priorities and he would do things to get things done. And that's why he was so successful. But whoever wrote that is right. I mean,
well, is this good analogy of the whole thing? I mean, you try to do everything that you can to bring more into the county, to provide more, and not always can you do everything.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And that's just like, no, this is a sore subject, but Heinz Farm. I mean, you voted on it, you brought it in, you're working at making it more prosperous, more profitable, but you have to give it takes time.
Well,
that's correct. And I'm going to jump on this one because I think that there's some plans that are out there that are going to be taking place within the next year. We're not going to say anything about it right now because we want the manager to handle that. He's working on that very heavily. He's had our input from all the commissioners. Once, it's like voting on things. Robin and I might agree on something. We might disagree on something. But the thing about it is once we made that vote, we move on.
That's right.
We don't elaborate on it and we don't fester on it and we don't try to get upset over the issue. We just move forward. That's what you have to do. And Heinz Farm is one of those issues. And I think the public will really like that place once we do it. What's in my mind and some of the commissioners' mind is going to be really interesting, but we can't say much about it now because we want the manager to put it all together in our workshop, and we should be able to tell you more after probably the 1st of February about what's going to happen out there.
And that brings up a good point because, like Paul and I disagreed on the Heinz Farm.
Right, I remember that.
But, it doesn't really matter. I mean, and I can't elaborate because I know what Paul's talking about. There's some certain things out there that
Can't wait.
that our county manager is focusing on, and there may be a couple of surprises there that we're pursuing. But the thing is, once that vote was taken,
I mean, that's done and over with.
Well, what I'm saying is once that vote's taken, okay, not one commissioner makes a decision. There's
Right.
4 of us. So once that board, even though I voted against it, the board made the decision to proceed with Heinz Farms. That's it. It's over. So now it's my job as a commissioner to support that decision and do everything I can to help the county make an improvement out there and
Yeah.
make sure it's successful. And that's what we're doing. And when people keep bringing up Heinz Farm, and
I
won't
mean,
let it
that's
go,
done and
just
over with. And
let
that
it
wasn't
go.
my whole point. My point was the fact that, you bought it, you're making it work.
That's right.
And making it more profitable, which is going to bring in more money. And people need to just, accept that.
We're trying to bring in
you
more
cannot
revenue.
turn something over overnight. It
Well-
takes a while. It's like starting a new business.
Lee, I think, Lee and I often go around the county and we'll make videos of things we see. Like we did the little pond thing out at the farmer's
Senior,
market.
yeah.
Love that
Mhm.
place.
Yes.
Well, anyway, Lee, we should go rent a cabin
Well,
one
we-
night when it's
Girls.
cold. But
A group
when
of
it
us
gets
girls-
warmer,
Right,
we're
we're
going to
gonna
have
have
a
a
girls'
girls'
night.
lounge your
blanket.
Yeah, no, I'm not going in the cold. It's
We're
not
going to have a
happening.
girls' night. We've
Yeah.
been talking about that.
We'll
You
do
and
it.
I and a couple of our other friends and doing a video and just enjoying it. I think it'll be fun.
We should do it. Let's
Yes.
plan it for maybe April or May.
We'll do that.
It's too cold
Definitely.
right now.
Yeah, it's too
Well,
cold.
one of the key things, and he'll tell you, I've been pushing this for a long time, and I haven't really pushed hard lately, but I'm fixing to get started on it. Sports complex, but I'm not talking about a building now.
Yeah.
We gotta crawl before we walk, and I think the key to is if you look at Brunswick County, their fields that they have,
Yeah, I've
their
seen
sports
them.
complex,
Mhm.
we pass it every time you go to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful facility. That's what I'm talking about. Get the fields, good fields, so these people can compete. You'll bring a lot of people in for what we're talking about, heads on beds, and that's where we get our tourism money from. Then if the public really pushes hard for that to support us in that issue, it might be easier for us to build a building later on. But those buildings, you're talking about $40-50 million. They're not
Yeah.
very cheap. And then how do you finance it?
I tell you what, when Kelly and I went to watch the Florida State Miami game in Tallahassee, we went to Panama City to stay, and we were at the Hyatt, I guess it was the hotel, whatever it was that we stayed at, the Hilton, whatever.
It was a Hilton.
But right outside
Yeah.
my
Hilton.
window, and I didn't even realize it when we drove in there. It was the Panama City Sports Complex,
And that was what you're talking about, Paul. They
just
had
like you. And they had
soccer fields, baseball fields,
tennis
softball
field,
fields. They had
lacrosse,
tennis courts. They
everything.
had, these fields were amazing.
and they
Yes.
had 2 hotels right there on the spot to come. And in fact, in our hotel, we had a girls, I think it was soccer team
That was
that was there at a tournament. And you woke up the next morning, you saw these beautiful fields, and they had stores there. It was a nice complex, and you had all these fields. And I remember telling Kelly, I said, "Wow, what a sports
And I
complex!"
said, that's what we need here.
That's
But
what we
that's
need.
what you're talking
That's what
about.
I'm talking
Yes,
about. Because
I
a
agree
building,
100%.
a building is, we could take tourism money and really work that money into those fields. But a building, the upkeep of the building, the fields are and we got to do some more for our Parks and Rec people too.
That's right.
And we've talked about that. They need a nicer building,
Absolutely.
but that's something down the road. But right now, the sports complex, we need that, and all the commissioners are pretty much on board for that.
I think it'll be good.
We got former County Commission Chairman Jack Bright. Good morning, Jack. How are you?
Good morning, Rayford and the show, and Paul and Robin. I'm glad to hear you guys on there and giving us information about the really good information that you're putting out there for the public to really hear and understand, because a lot of people just don't.
Where'd you go?
When I was a chairman, I don't recall ever asking you guys to vote for anything. I provided the information to you that I had, and then you guys went out and did your own research, and then you voted accordingly. Maybe you voted for an issue, or maybe you voted against it, but it was based on your own investigation. And I think that's what's really incredible about having a county commissioner representing the citizens of this county. I think that's commendable of you two. And unlike one of the sitting commissioners that's running for re-election, it seems that this person only wants to tear down the image of the county and vote to anything concerning Hines Farm. He wants to vote against it, no matter how good or bad it is. But I don't know why he plants these seed of deception in the people out here in the community. And he's always saying, we got a problem in finance. We don't have a check and balances. The Parks and Recreation is in shambles. We need to do something with them. EMS, we got a problem over there. We got a...
All right, Jack, your phone's cutting in and out there. Are you still there? Hey, Jack?
We lost him. We lost Jack. Had anybody seen Jack?
To Jack.
Put a bolo up.
Yeah.
Maybe he fell down the hill.
Oh, well.
That was lame.
All right, Jack, if you can hear me, just call us back. Move around your house somewhere and give us a ringy dingy. Okay. Hey, Jack's got a lot of good points too. There are some individuals out there who are just hell bent on just destroying this county, in my opinion, just like we got the same people in the country doing the same thing with this nation. We got people outside this country trying to destroy this nation. But I don't know if we got any people outside of Onslow County trying to hurt us, but I know we got some internal issues.
Yes, we
Individuals.
do have some
And they've been
individuals
addressed.
within the county.
And they've been addressed, and and it goes back to what I said. It's just not, you're not, county commissioner is not a one man or one person
Nope.
show, and it's 7 of us, and we have to work together. And Paul's seen it longer than I have, and I've seen it. You're going to have disagreement on the board, and that's fine. That's what we want. We want people in different opinions.
Well, not everybody's gonna
But when you
think the same.
constantly hang on to something out of spite or whatever reason it is, and when you're a commissioner, this is one of the things that I look at. You have to be consistent with your voting.
Right.
No, but you have to be consistent in how you vote. And certain commissioners, when you look at the way they vote, it makes absolutely no sense. They vote one way, and then they contradict themselves on another issue in the opposite way.
Well, you brought
that-
that up, and I want to bring up that has to do with the landfill. Like there was some disagreement there about keeping a recycling center site open in Richlands, and where it was not making any money whatsoever, it was costing the county. You ended up reducing it down to 1 day a week, so the citizens and the residents of Richlands still will have a place to go other than having to drive to a landfill. But yet you had a commissioner that voted against it and wanted to shut it down completely, that you were spending too much money.
Well, actuality,
Does that make sense?
We had shut it down, and then we had a request from some of the citizens that from Richlands that wanted to open it up once a week if we could,
Right.
so they didn't have to travel 15, 17 miles into town to
Exactly.
Jacksonville.
Right.
And most of us, we looked at each other. That's a no-brainer. Yeah, we can do that, and it's a convenient
I
site.
remember that meeting.
Yeah, it's a
yes.
convenient site for those people in Richlands, and they came to
Right.
us, and it's our job as representatives to do the best we can to help them, and we did. So I was proud of that vote that we opened it up, but unfortunately, we had one, I think maybe two, or just one that opposed that, and because it was costing too much money. So if it's costing too much money to open up a recycling center for 1 day a week, but yet it's not too much money to spend on a pool for $3 million.
Mhm. Oh, I knew that was
What,
coming.
the reason why I say that decision is over with.
Mhm.
I voted against it. Paul and I voted against it, but we're moving forward to do everything we can to help this
course.
project come up.
That's part. That's
But
part
when
of
you
doing the
vote,
job,
you
right?
can't spew spending too much money out of one corner of your mouth and then turning around and doing the opposite on the other side of your mouth.
Right.
That's what I talk about voter consistency.
Do you not have recycling centers in other parts of the county?
Yes.
We do.
Also,
Was it-
County is a big county.
Was there any move to get rid of them?
We did close some of those.
Yeah, some.
Mhm.
But I mean, and I remember after that meeting, and I think Paul, they came to you too. The citizens were very thankful that we decided to open that recycling, because you got elderly people
Right.
They're not going to get in their cars and travel all the way to Jacksonville. They don't. They rarely
They
drive.
don't throw all their recyclable
Exactly.
stuff in their trash.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, it's
Or
convenient.
burn it in the
Or
backyard.
burn it in
Yeah.
the backyard.
So it's very convenient. It's open. They can go right there. It's like maybe a mile drive or whatever it may be from their house and get rid of it.
But I just don't understand why you would not have it there for the citizens.
Some of them, the sites that we did close were very expensive to keep open.
Yeah, they were.
And because we have to have a
But you
truck
did-
driver that has to go pick up those containers, and we
Mhm.
had to have a truck to do that. It gets pretty expensive, and that's why when the staff looked at it, the managers and everybody looked at it, said we need to do this, this, and this. And we got several of them are still open. Like the one on Dawson Cabin Road is still open because I pass that when I go to the JPD range, and I believe there's one in Folkestone that's
Yep.
still open, and one in Swansboro is still open. But the one on Belgrade Swansboro Road, I believe we closed that one.
Yeah, it's a small decision in terms of what we decide as a commissioners from a budget standpoint. One recycling place open up once a week. It's a small decision, like rezoning, but it's a small decision that had a huge impact on those residents, and I'm glad for them. And they needed.
They were very thankful.
Yep, absolutely.
That's great. That's great.
Gentlemen, thank you for coming in.
Yeah,
Spending
thank
some
you.
quality
It's
time
been
with us.
great.
Got a lot of good information
Yes.
today.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And,
We do
Always
appreciate you.
appreciate it.
we'll see you next time, I guess.
Yep,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
Commissioner's Corner. We try to
Thank
do
you,
it
guys.
monthly. We
Appreciate the work you
appreciate
do.
it.
Listen, you're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME, and we'll be right back.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only copper protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand, forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, solid tech, luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home. It's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsnewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the best of the best for 2022 in the flooring, covering, and carpet cleaning category. Watkins Floor Covering. They're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering. Family owned and operated since 1997 with locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering. You stand on it, we stand behind it.
The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11 at Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 Wilmington Highway in heart of Verona. In addition to saving money on your LP gas for the grill, Jones Gas and Oil is your full-service gas and oil company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural gas and oil needs, as well as gas appliances, LP replacement, parts, fill cylinders, and tankless water heaters, and they offer a 10% military discount on installation. Remember to get that cylinder filled every Friday until closing for only $11. Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 the Old Wilmington Highway, Verona. Phone 910-346-6384.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME.
And we're back, and thanks to both Paul and Robin, turn this noisemaker down, for coming in this morning and sharing all the information they did. On the phone right now, we got, it's Miller time. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, sir. What's up?
No, not much. Just enjoyed the new year, and we're back off and running with the area high school sports team. And it is unfortunate that Commissioner Knapp walked away. I was going to give him a little bit of a hard time about the Florida State Seminoles.
Oh, that's a sore subject.
It's probably best. You
Very
did.
sore subject.
but they'll be back next year. So, but yeah, definitely wanted to try to give him a little bit of a hard time. But it was pretty funny listening to him go on his little rant a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they'll be back, and that's the cool thing about sports is that we can give each other a hard time about our teams winning and losing, but at the end of the day, it's all in fun.
Yeah. Hey, last week's event apparently pretty well attended. The Classic.
Oh yeah, the Onslow County High School Basketball Classic at White Oak. Yeah, great crowds all 3 days, especially those later. Some of those games that start at 3 o'clock and 4. They don't really have a chance to sneak out, but a lot of those evenings had some pretty big crowds. That championship game for the tournament was standing room only, and they had people pouring out of the gym to watch. So great crowd, great atmosphere for these young men that were participating, and that's what it's all about. Swansboro won the tournament. Congratulations to the Pirates for winning this tournament 3 straight years, and but just a great show, and this is something that these young men are going to remember for a long time. They may not remember the score, but they'll remember playing in front of several hundred, if not thousand, fans.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, tonight we got Southwest. Jacksonville Cardinals going to take on the Southwest, and it's going to be at Southwest tonight, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's just the JV boys and varsity boys. So the JV boys will play at 5, and the varsity boys will play at 7. It's not necessarily a makeup game, but it's kind of a game that both teams, especially Jacksonville, kind of picked up on a schedule because they got off to a little bit of a late start to the basketball season because of football, and some other schools were able to kind of start their basketball season early in the season since their fall sports had concluded. So just another way for another game for Jacksonville to pick up, and should be a great game between the Cardinals, who are playing well. They really played well last week in the tournament, and Southwest is one of our better teams. So it should be a high-paced, up-and-down ball game.
Yeah, sounds good. And if you can't go, you can listen to it live right here on WSME.
That's right.
I guess we're going to kick it off with pregame about 6:30, and the game time is at 7 o'clock. This is for the Cardinal, the seniors.
Right. The varsity.
The high school, the varsity.
Right.
That's what I was trying to say. So anyway, good luck to all of the teams who are playing.
And like I said before, those guys, Jerry and all of them, the radio guys, they do a great job, and they seem to have a lot of fun doing it too. So that's what that's what you like to see, and anything that we can do to promote these young athletes. I mean, it may be a newspaper story, it may be a mention in the radio, it may be their name mentioned online that a college coach picks up and and asks about. So anything that we can do to get these young men and women the opportunity, we're all for.
So you're going to be out there tonight?
Yes, sir. My plan is to be at the ball game at Southwest Onslow tonight, and like I said, should be a good one. So it should be a fast game since there's only 2 games. So that it should be a fast night for sure.
Yeah, should go well. I'm counting on it. I'll be listening. Don't think I can make it out there because it's going to get cold, and I'm allergic to the cold.
You're inside.
I got to get from here to there.
Bundle up, and
That's a long walk.
As long as we don't have snow, I think we'll be fine.
That's a 4-letter word.
That's another word.
It's a 4-letter word.
Put that with a Q word.
All right.
So, Chris, I have one question. What comes after basketball?
So after basketball, and if you believe it or not, we only have about a month left of the basketball regular season before we go into the playoffs. So these games really are starting to really matter for these teams. But and it's kind of weird that the high school basketball season, regular season, gets done roughly about the same time as the Super Bowl. So that goes to show you how long the professional sports seasons are long, how long they are. But after the winter season, we'll have baseball in the spring, softball in the spring, girls soccer, outdoor track and field, and lacrosse, and some other sports like boys golf and boys tennis. But baseball, softball, and girls soccer are the big 3 in the spring season.
Gotcha.
Okay. Sounds like a winner. Chris, thank you. Thanks for what you do, sir.
I know.
Thank you, my friend.
All right. See you next week.
Bye, Chris.
You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back.
For 4 40 years now, people throughout Jacksonville and Onslow County have trusted Barnes Diamond Gallery for all their jewelry needs for every special occasion. They understand that every day is a special event for someone, whether celebrating a wedding, anniversary, birthday, engagement, or graduation. Let Barnes Diamond Gallery custom design something for you. Barnes Diamond Gallery does on-site repair in addition to their quality and selection of diamonds, diamond fashion bands, pendants, watches, earrings, gemstone rings, and necklaces for anyone for any occasion. Major credit cards accepted. Layaway available. Barnes Diamond Gallery offers appraisals and paid top market prices for gold and silver. Barnes Diamond Gallery, 461 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, Jacksonville, open 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Doctors Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with dependable quality train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over 50 years of experience and service you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, you never pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you can call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633-2200. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repair, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on train systems and more, visit anoldfriend.com or call 910-347-2843. If your plans include hitting the road this year to do some traveling, make sure a visit to Silent Service Center is on your to-do list. Travel safety starts with the tires on your vehicle, and a visit to Silent Service Center will give you peace of mind with the best value in all name brand tires and the largest selection of used tires in this area. In addition to quality tires, Silent Service Center is a North Carolina inspection station and does complete brake service, oil changes, and alignment service. Silent Service Center, 1707 Lejeune Boulevard, Jacksonville, and 108 West Main Street, Havelock. Phone 910-353-4760.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
And we're back here for a few more minutes. And it's time for you to call if you want to. It's 910-333-0139. Are you ready for this one? I'm going to make you mad. Kelly, you're going to get really mad.
Oh, no.
Adam Montgomery, New Hampshire dad accused of beating his daughter to death, hiding the sling for more than 2 years, is fighting evidence that prosecutors say shows him buying chemicals and power tools that could have been used to dismember and hide a body. In defense filing last month, public defenders sought to prevent the prosecution from showing evidence that the 33-year-old bought 80 pounds of lime, a diamond-edged blade, and a power grinder at 2 Home Depot stores about a week before he is accused of renting a U-Haul truck and dumping her remains somewhere outside Boston. The family was of Harmony's suspected murder. Kept his daughter's remains in a cooler and a dump, then transported them between temporary housing locations before finally dumping her. The evidence, according to the prosecution, of purchases from Home Depot is relevant because it is circumstantial evidence connecting the defendant to an ATM withdrawal and lime that he purchased to further conceal and dispose of Harmony Montgomery's corpse. His now estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery, Harmony's stepmother, told police her husband believed the lime would help Harmony's body decompose without being discovered. Wow. The girl's father, kept Harmony frozen until he bought the first 40-pound bag of lime and returned to their new apartment to thaw her frozen remains out in a shower. While Kayla was not aware of whether the defendant used tools, she said that while the defendant was taking a break from his conduct in the bathroom, he disclosed to her that he was going to try and put her in pieces. She also reported that the defendant was attempting to squish and bend the corpse to create additional space in the bag so he could add the lime.
People are crazy. They're crazy.
Take a deep breath and be happy I'm through reading that, right?
Well, here's another one, Rayford. You remember you and I were talking about this. Kelly was gone that day about the 18-year-old woman who was 9 months pregnant and was getting ready to go and be induced.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend, who was 22, and they were found shot to death in their vehicle in an apartment, in the parking lot of an apartment complex. Well, first thought was murder-suicide, but the police weren't saying anything. They just said it was very perplexing. They made arrests yesterday, a father and a son. And they said that they believed it was all dealing with drugs.
Likely.
They had shot both of the victims in the head, then moved their bodies. She was on her way to be induced.
Wow.
And of course, the child died also.
There should be three
There should be
murder
three
charges.
counts of murder.
I know the son was charged with capital murder.
Mm-hmm.
That should.
And his father was charged with the abuse of a corpse for allegedly helping his son move the couple's bodies. Oh, so
Some things
sad.
you just can't sit right.
Tell you, drugs is so evil. Yep, they're so evil. Yep.
Well, Monday night, football. ESPN cameras got a little bit more than they wanted on Monday night as the broadcast rolled on Bourbon Street during the college football playoff matchup between Texas and Washington down in Nolens. One woman walking down the street took the opportunity to flash the camera as the action was about to restart. The Sugar Bowl was being played at the Caesars Superdome. The woman's actions immediately went viral across social media. Tuesday, ESPN issued an apology. "We regret that it happened. Sorry." Good for ratings, though.
Okay, well, what did you think was going to happen going down Bourbon Street? Have these people not been on Bourbon Street?
That's the whole point.
I was there last year and saw all kinds of crazy nonsense.
you
I
saw-
would never take a child on Bourbon Street.
No.
People were doing it, but I think I will judge you hard if you do it. Because
That's the norm.
Oh, I know it. That's what I'm saying. There's certain places I don't think people should take their kids on vacation. And I would say, that while there are some kid-friendly things to do, typically it's not what I would do.
Nope.
My dad went to a conference when I was a kid. I was 13 in New Orleans. And we all went a whole bunch. I mean, his company rented a bus and took us. It was a candy convention, so it was awesome.
Candy convention.
Yeah. But still, there was stuff. There was parts that my parents would not let us go down even then.
Like mud wrestling.
It was just a lot of things. My brother actually walked in the strip club and he was like, 8?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Started early.
My mother was not happy at all. Let me tell you.
How did he get in?
They let him right in the door. That's what my mother said. But we were just walking. We were going to the cemetery part. But he just turned around. Also, look, where is he at? And he'd walked right on in there. They let him in the door. Yeah. I mean, he only said like maybe the 30 seconds it took my mom to realize he wasn't in the group.
So your mom had to go to the strip club
My
to get him
mother
in.
was not happy at all.
A U.S.-led coalition of 13 countries issued a warning to Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen yesterday, promising consequences should the group continue attacks in the Red Sea. The nation said that the destabilization of trade throughout the Red Sea is unacceptable. These guys have been using unmanned aerial vehicles, small boats, and missiles to attack both civilian and Navy ships.
Yeah.
Wow. The coalition's action comes in response to a missile attack on a Maersk container ship over the weekend. There have been roughly 24 attacks on international shipping by the Houthis since October 19th. The Houthis say their attacks are aimed at Israel-linked ships to stop the Israeli offensive in Gaza. Currently, there are 5 warships from the United States, France, and the UK patrolling the waters of the southern Red Sea and the western Gulf of Aden. The ships have so far shot down a total of 17 drones and 4 anti-ship ballistic missiles. We're going to be at war if this is not brought to some kind of a resolve.
Well, I think that's what, Iran has been trying to provoke us from this way. And I read something yesterday, which shocked me a little bit, not a whole lot, but slightly, that they were super close to having a nuclear weapon.
Oh, yes, they are.
I mean, and that's a scary thought.
Well, think about it. We gave them permission. We took off all restraints.
Don't get me started,
That's
right?
right.
It's too early. Yes.
Oh, did you see the financial debt that we're in? It's the highest that
Yes,
it's ever has been.
Yeah, well, it's not as high as it's
Who
going
are we
to
going
be.
to blame that? Who are we blaming it on? I mean, we all know the answer, but I want to hear somebody say it.
The administration.
Yes. And there are some people that say that that's not who you should blame.
Who would they blame?
I actually heard something yesterday, somebody trying to blame Trump. Trump is not the cause of everything. And this administration's reckless spending and nonsense spending is to blame.
$34 trillion.
I remember when it was single digits.
And of course,
Yep.
Let me see.
I just can't.
Okay, we got a guest coming in tomorrow.
We do. Lee set up that. Yep.
Yes, one of our listeners
Uh-huh.
had sent an email yesterday because he heard us talking about math and Common Core math and
Uh-huh.
the issues there. And he said, and I think he was chuckling a little bit at some of what we said. But he's going to come in tomorrow. He's a teacher at Infant Prague. He's been in the teaching profession, I think he said, for 40 years.
Does
or
he teach
more.
math?
Yes.
Oh,
he's
good.
gonna
I
come in.
got a question
Well, he's about
for
to find out how much I don't like math.
Well, yeah.
And he's not going to change my mind and make me like it.
He said he
I'm gonna
heard
have to
me say
that.
something about I've never used algebra or geometry since I graduated. He says, "Oh, you've used it."
You just
he
don't
said,
know
"I'll
it.
give you examples." But this is going to be interesting.
Well, I can promise you, and I can verify this with my hand on the Bible. I have never physically written out an X plus Y equals anything at all since whenever the last time
Well, I've
was.
done degrees and stuff like it's.
Well, I've done problem solving, but I can verify that I have not written an actual algebraic equation out.
I like
at
to
all.
do things, and one thing I like to do is build stuff, and so I'm pretty good with a saw and a miter box, but and you've got to go 45 degrees this way, 47 that way, or whatever. So yeah, I've used some of that, but that's all I can tell you about it.
I can promise you.
I
it's
hope he
written out
doesn't test.
nothing.
I hope there's no pop quiz tomorrow.
Well, I'm not going to do it if it is
because I
I'll
will
watch it
freak
all.
out. I will get so stressed.
If it's Common Core, I'm going to be done.
Homer Spring is his name.
Common Core should be outlawed.
Homer's been in Onslow County. He's been around for many years. He's on the planning board for the county, I believe it is. I think is what he said, and he's worked with the city council some. So it's going to be good. This is going to be
looking forward to it.
interesting.
Okay, we're going to take a break for 22 hours. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Yeah. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning and the last day of the week. And don't forget the ball game tonight. If you can't go to Southwest High School and watch the Cardinals take on Southwest, then you can listen to it on the radio. Game time is actually at 5, I think it is, for the JV team. It's not going to be broadcast. We'll go live at 6:30 with a pregame show and get ready for the varsity team to take on Southwest at 7 o'clock. 97.1, that's the magic number for you. You can also go to WSME971.com and pick it up live there as well.
Worldwide.
Meanwhile, we're going to take a break here and do some Fox News, and then at 10 o'clock, it's going to be another dose of the Daily D's with Rick, and he'll hand it off to Hollywood at 3 o'clock this afternoon. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. There are nearly 200 people mentioned in now unsealed documents from a 2015 lawsuit against sex traffickers